Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. There are times in life where we get caught off guard. Things catch up to us at a time we least expect it. For example, somebody may take your picture, send it to you, you take one look at the picture and say, man, I got fat. You may have not have realized it creeping up in your life, but over time you've allowed yourself to let go and gain weight. It's happened to many of us. But then we look at other things like ISIS. And if they really are here on American soil, are we ready for that? You know, we've watched videos, we've read articles, we have been alerted that things like this may come on U.S. soil, and yet we see what went down in San Bernardino, and there we realize, proof positive that ISIS is here. No, you're not going to see a bunch of idiots in the back of a truck waving around a flag, on U.S. soil anyways, but you see people are in communication with ISIS, following their commands, and willing to die to do so. So the question is, what are we doing to be prepared? See, the bad guy or the terrorist, they get to choose how it happens. They get to choose the timing of it. We are in a responsive mode, and forget any help from the government. Do not expect it. That would be your first mistake, is expecting that the government has control of this or that they are aware. The thing is that we need to be prepared ourselves. First off, that means no more casual carry. You have to carry with intention and make the commitment daily and to be aware of your surroundings, constant alertness. But also we need to recognize some of the behaviors that terrorists have. Some of the things that they do in the phasing aspects of planning their plot. So here are 8 signs of terrorist activities that you may take notice to and alert authorities if you see such behavior. The first phase is the surveillance phase. This is where they're planning out various areas. You may see them video recording. They may have monitoring activities. You may see blueprints with to and from, in and out of areas. This would be hard to detect. It's just an initial phase or kind of casing the area to see if it would make for a good target. Typically a gun-free zone, by the way. You know, because, you know, can't have any resistance. The second phase is the inquiry phase. Here's where they ask questions. You know, they try to gain as much information as possible, and Americans are more than willing to share everything they know, even if it's with a complete stranger. We have to stop doing that. You know, they would ask questions about an area inside the infrastructure, what exactly is going on. They try to learn as much as they possibly can about the day-to-day activities. The third is they want to test the security. So they may go into sensitive areas to see how long it would take before law enforcement showed up. Law enforcement might show up, they could play dumb and say, you know, I didn't know. I had no idea that I was supposed to be here. And then next thing you know, that security says, you know, get out of here. Meanwhile, they're collecting all that data, especially about the response time. Fourth phase is the fundraising phase. Without proper fundraising, terrorists have a difficult time doing it. So here's where we see credit card fraud. We see people targeting the elderly. We see people asking for donations for legitimate organizations in which they never contribute to. The fifth phase is acquiring their supplies. They may be getting uniforms, flight passes, fake IDs, passports, purchasing explosives, or learning how to store chemicals, certain type of equipment that does that. All their weaponry. That's the fifth phase. And now they're getting closer and closer to their plot. Number 6 is suspicious behavior. Now, this is the point where Americans struggle with. When you see or hear somebody speaking out of line, something that's uncharacteristic, using certain vocabulary that just doesn't belong in an area, it needs to be reported. We can't worry about racial profiling. That should be the last thing on our mind. Don't worry about being politically correct. When you start seeing things that just don't belong, it needs to be reported. Usually when a terrorist activity takes place, somebody somewhere says, yeah, I noticed a few things. I didn't know if it was right. Don't let your personal feelings or biases get in the way of this. If something's out of place, report it. Don't worry about that. 7th is dry runs. They're going to practice. No, they're not going to be running around with AK-47s, but they may be monitoring police radio frequencies, monitoring typical response times from emergency personnel. Okay, and so they're basically practicing, doing a dry run, seeing how it's all going to work out. And then 8th is deployment. And they're deploying their assets. They're getting into position. This is your last chance to alert authorities before a terrorism act could take place. Hey guys, this isn't everything that's going on. I know it gets deeper than this. These are just some things for the average American to watch for, certain types of behaviors in which they may be able to spot something out and say, you know what, this isn't right. I need to report it. Because I'm telling you right now, this is happening. It's not the end of it, and only we are responsible for our safety as well as our family and community. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.